Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule presented by FanDuel. Today is Friday, June 5th, and the sun is shining. The birds are chirping. Mizzou campus is beautiful this time of year. I do miss it. I miss it very dearly, as I'm sure you guys do as well. Just the nice walks around. I don't know. That was a big appeal for me when I was going, when I was looking to pick Mizzou. It was just how pretty the campus was, how walkable it was. I could romanticize all day long, and we're going to do that in a very much summertime episode. We do have some happenings for Mizzou that we're going to discuss in quick hits, but it's Mount Rushmore and draft season, so that's what we're going to do off the bat, fellas. And Kenny, I will credit you with this idea. We're going to do a Mizzou buildings draft. We're gonna take our favorite buildings around campus. I would assume mostly taken from our time there, whether you had a class. Obviously, a lot of the three of us, we're confined to many of the journalism quarters. So, it may be focused on that. But I don't know. Kenny and Payton never cease to surprise me with some of these Mount Rushmores that we do. Are you guys excited? Do you have some buildings in mind?
I do.
Yep.
I really, really need to get the first pick, though. Like, really badly need to get the first pick.
Well,
I think 1-1 is the same for everyone, or at least it should be.
So I really need this pick. Really need it.
I've been kind of racking my brain. There's definitely some I'm not thinking about, and so I might have a bad Mount Rushmore, but we're gonna see how it goes. Why don't you spin away, Kenny?
I'll hit a shuffle 3 times just so it doesn't just do the same order.
What if that makes the pie pieces smaller? Like yours just becomes half the screen. Oh
God.
So I don't love this because you guys said it was obvious, and I don't.
It is not. Don't even play. You know what it is. Oh, good, and I get to go third.
I'm not playing. I'm trying to operate from a building use standpoint or a sentimentality standpoint. And I'm not sure which is the more correct move here. But I think, I don't know where my mind goes to in terms of I'm thinking of it if I'm trapped in a world, I'm in a Mizzou alternate universe, and I can only access these 4 buildings. The rest of the buildings are just inaccessible. What 4 buildings am I picking on my Mount Rushmore?
There's still a pretty obvious 1-1.
Just go, man. Wait, I'm on the edge of my seat. I really want to.
I gotta go Conley Ave parking garage. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna pick the parking garage. I gotta take the rec 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
that's
see,
yours.
I knew I was off. I'm fine with that. I loved the rec. It's a great building. There's a lot of things in there.
So do you want it
1-1?
Do you want it as Brewer Fieldhouse or Student Recreation Center?
Well, I mean, I'll take it all.
I like the rec. It was on my board. It was not 1-1.
I mean, I don't know if we're counting I guess I didn't count Memorial Stadium or the
not what we're talking about.
Not what we're talking about.
With my first pick, I'm going to take Jesse Hall. I feel like that was the clear 1-1. Is that not even your 1-1, Payton?
No.
Yeah,
wow.
I knew there wasn't.
Had a way different board than I thought. I loved Jesse. Would have been my second pick, but 1-1 is obvious to me.
You guys threw it off with this being I don't think there is an obvious direction at all with this. I think you could take it in
I guess it also depends how we're drafting. If we're drafting for scenic vibes or what we're drafting for.
I don't think Memorial Stadium should count as a building.
I agree. That's why I didn't consider it.
Memorial Stadium technically isn't a building.
It's
right.
It's not
open.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight for a different one, though. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah, one for me is the Student Center. I spent like far and away more time in that building than any other one. Dude, that place is great. You can go downstairs and it'll be quiet and there's KCOU. You can go to the middle floor. You can go to Panda Express or Mort's. Kenny, how many hours would you even ballpark that we spent in Mort's? 4-digit hours. I'm almost certain.
60, maybe.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, the number's like in the 4 digits. I bet.
It might be like 60 days worth.
60 days worth. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. We've spent a lot of time there in our 4 years. So yeah, that one was my 1-1. I thought everyone was gonna go that. Jesse was on my board. The Rec was on my board. I know a lot of people are probably going insane that Ellis is not off the board. I was a journalism major, man. I was there like 4 times total in college. And I know that probably is a me thing more than a journalism major thing, but I didn't go to Ellis that much, so I'm not going to take Ellis out of respect. Number 2, I would like to fight for Mizzou Arena to be included. It's on campus, and it's a building. So I would like to take Mizzou Arena if I'm allowed.
That's fine with me.
I'm not sad about losing Mizzou Arena. I'm going to be honest.
I like Mizzou Arena. I think you guys you underrate Mizzou Arena compared to the rest. We did this once. We looked at the rest of the arenas in the SEC. I think Mizzou Arena holds up pretty well.
I don't disagree. It's not very unique. It's just it's a basketball arena. There are other basketball arenas.
I went to every game though. So, I mean, that is kind of part of it. The most games I missed were freshman year when I didn't go to like Charleston Southern and stuff like that. I didn't go to Did I go to Northern Kentucky? I don't remember. But yeah, I'm taking Mizzou Arena and I'm taking the Student Center. Those are definitely the 2 buildings that hold the most sentimental value to me, probably.
All right.
I think just off beauty and how iconic it is for Missouri. There's not many schools that have something like this. I spent some time there. I mean, I wouldn't say I was frequent. I think it was very busy and sometimes too busy at times. I'm going to take Memorial Union. I just don't think there's really anything else like it. And I think it pairs well with Jesse Hall. When you look at the landscape of Columbia and Mizzou's campus.
Yeah, that was going to be my next.
Kenny has the 2 most, the most iconic scenic parts of
for sure
of the Columbia skyline. Unless you're a really big fan of Payton Tower.
Oh man, that's not a part of Mizzou, but that'd be. We should do a Columbia buildings. We should do a Columbia buildings next. Shout out the basketball hoop at Payton Tower. I'm going to take Ellis Library. I did spend time in Ellis Library. It's great. I like it. The different levels. They've got literal jail cells in there, basically. That it's hilarious that those were ever in use. Not as actual jail cells. They were study cages, but you can look it up. That is a real thing. It's a great building. I think Mizzou's got a solid library. I think there are other schools that maybe go prettier with their libraries, like really play it up in terms of like the outside of the building. I don't think Ellis does that, but I think it's a nice library tucked into campus there. But in terms of like outer beauty, Kenny's got, I think the big 2, I might zag a little bit now with some of these picks and focus on that a little bit. There's some for sentimentality that I'm going to, you know what? I am going to pick this one out of a place I did spend a lot of time at. And one that was ruined a little bit by the fact that there was some construction going on during my time there. But, it's got a skylight in the middle of the foyer. It's a staple of the tour, especially if you're a journalism student. I'm going to pick Lee Hills.
Okay. Whew. That is a good pick because I mean, that was like, is that technically even on campus account?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
hall.
When you look at the campus map, it shows it.
There's classes
Okay.
there.
Like, I'm not against, I would have let you pick it either way. I'm just curious.
Lee Hills, of course, is the home of the Columbia Missourian. The three of us are all Columbia Missourian alumnuses.
We
And,
each wrote about a Mizzou program.
Yes, we did. We each covered 3 different Mizzou
Women's
programs.
basketball here.
I spent a
men's-
lot of late
yeah.
nights in the newsroom at Lee Hills, and it's a nice building. It's not super standoutish, but I gotta go some sentimentality too from my time.
If you are going by your rule of you're inaccessible, like you now just live and exist in 4 buildings, basically, that can be your employment building.
It could be. I'll never be bored because I'll have plenty of reading material in Ellis. I've got plenty of exercise opportunity in the rec, and I can just type up stories for.
Better figure out a place to eat.
Yeah. Need dining.
Okay, Kenny's up. He's looking really intense about.
I'm looking at a map. So when you look at the J school, it's Gannett on the left, Neff in the center, and then what is it? Just Walter Williams is technically the one on the right.
And that I don't think Peyton's going to tell you the answer to that question, but yes, it is.
I'm going to take Walter Williams, which I should say that includes the library as well for the J school. It is at the same
Which
building.
one was Walter Williams? Was that
the one to the right? And you're walking up from the columns.
I thought that was. Isn't that?
Can I just take the
RJI?
J? Yeah. Can I just say? I'll just take RJI.
Okay. Damn it! That's the one I wanted. I
Yeah.
wanted RJI. I didn't.
You want the one with the arch? You walk under the.
You
Yeah.
want the one
You
that
want
has
that.
the like bowl classroom.
It's Walter Williams.
Yeah.
where we had our capstone, Kenny.
Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
You got it.
Okay, well, now I have to. I totally did not prepare a backup option. That was just convinced I was getting that one. So not only that, I have to pick 2 buildings. My picks are gonna suck because it's gonna be like, why?
I hope they name a series of dorms. Like they still have Discovery and Excellence and all of those. I hope they build 8 new dorms and name them after the 8 core values.
They should not. I'm not gonna take South second because that's a bit too sappy. Even though I do think those, you could argue those are like some of the top dorms on campus, anyways. I don't want to live in a dorm again, so I'm not gonna take South second. I will take. This place technically does not exist now. I'm going to take the Hit Street Market, which I believe is now owned by the hospital.
That's a terrible pick.
Because we took a lot of 2 a.m. walks there.
This is a
freshman year,
terrible
and I always
pick.
thought that was fun. So I'm going to take the Hit Street Market that now I don't even think exists. I'm really bummed I don't get to pick RJI. I might take Gannett just out of principle. Not taking Middlebush. I'm not gonna take Naka. Definitely not taking Naka. I'm sorry. I have to think now. I'm kind of scrambling.
My last one, I'm fully going.
I have mine picked out right now.
I'm going Beauty on the outside
Me too.
for my last.
Beauty on the outside. Interesting. Okay, so technically the quads obviously don't count. Otherwise I'd take that. Maybe I'll just take Tate Hall? No.
There's some pretty buildings on the quad though.
There are. I'm thinking I'm between one.
Swallow.
No,
Is
not
it?
Swallow. I'm between Switzler, because I've actually been in that building, so it does count. And I think it has a great view of the quad. And I'm between the Cornell Hall, but I've been in there once, and I think Kenny's been in there once, and I remember Kenny knows when he was in there because he saw a very interesting name on a plaque.
Ken
I'm
Lang.
gonna go Switzler. It's got a great view of the quad. I've been in there, so I can speak on it. I wish I had
Switzler.
been in Laffrey. Is that how you say it? Laffrey, the engineering one.
Switzer's very very liminal from what I remember being in there.
Liminal.
That's my word of the day for Kenny.
Thank you. I'll
Be on the lookout on 3 viewers. Kenny might slip that into an article. He's a thesaurus.
All right, Kenny.
I think mine, if this goes on a graphic anywhere, people are just going to be like, you just pick the ones that people will like and that people know. I'm going to take the power plant. I think it's very iconic for the University of Missouri. It's brought up at least once every 4 months by like a Sickos community post. My junior and
the nuclear power plant.
Okay.
My junior and senior years, I could look out the window and see it.
He's not talking Murr. He's talking the actual power.
The plant.
Yeah, the power plant. Yeah, the actual
nuclear power plant. That's
where people that's what people know. Like that people know that about Mizzou. So I'm gonna take the power plant right on campus.
I thought you were taking Murr, like the research center.
It is funny. I mean, we do. Do you think we have a substation situation?
No, I don't. Because I don't think the 49ers have one either.
I did talk. I had a friend. I met a friend a couple like months ago, and he's like an engineer and actually works on some of that stuff. And the substation came up, and he got so mad so fast. He was like, "Don't even talk about that. That is junk science." I got so mad when all that was happening. These people don't know how substations work. So the engineering community is not a fan of that whole shtick. I
love the power plant pick. That's so
a funny pick. I do think the 49ers, they just need excuses for when they don't win. I am going to pick one that just looks really pretty from the outside. I don't even actually know, so this is gonna sound bad. And I think it's very nice inside too. And I say that because I don't actually know if
you're picking a building you've never been in.
I don't know if I have. I'm picking Cornell Hall.
Cornell is visually stunning.
It's very pretty.
Some business major cashed a pretty big check there. But I don't know. You've never been in there.
I don't think I have. I you know what?
I've never been in the power plant.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't have taken the power plant either. Then I don't know.
Why? I mean, you don't. There's no rules to it.
Yeah,
you don't have to.
I know. I was personally picking buildings I've been in.
I'm trying to remember the building. I can do it. This might be an appropriate time for this quick story time. I was once walking back to my residence, and it was late, and I really had to use the bathroom, and I tried to just enter one of the buildings because I had my ID could scan me into some buildings after they closed. And I tried it, and I don't remember for the life of me which hall it was. It wasn't Cornell, but it was near there, I think, and didn't work. And then about a week or a couple days later, I got an email from one of the building supervisors that was like, "Hey, we detected your ID was trying to get into the building," and it was nice. It wasn't scary. She was like, "Do you need help accessing it? Do we need to update your credential?" And I was just like, "No, it's okay." I was trying to get to use the bathroom on a walk home. I didn't think I'd make it home, but I would have picked that one if I remembered which building it was. But I
don't know, what's near there. There's the one where was arts and sciences on anyone's board.
I didn't love arts and sciences.
Yeah, that was a joke. Middle Bush wasn't on my board.
No,
I'm trying to think of where else.
You said Naka, and I almost.
What was the building that was right across from the student center?
Well, that was arts and sciences.
No, not arts and sciences. The one right, if you walk out the
yes, the English building. Yes. I had a class.
Where did we have history of Missouri, or were you? Neither of you were even in that class with me, were you?
I don't remember what it's called, but I had a class in there. Also not very nice.
Yeah, I had a few classes in there. I think my first ever class at Mizzou was in there. It was a social deviation class.
Ooh.
Interesting professor, to say the least. Strickland Hall. Arva Strickland Hall.
There you go. Yep. I thought about the law school building. I had a class in there.
I walked through the law school building a lot. Kenny and I were sold some really high-priced candy bars walking by that.
Like cookies and cream bars. We were just in a rush. Actually trying to get to record something for the show is when KCOU was down and we were recording it upstairs.
Oh yes.
And we were just posting on a podcast platform.
Yep.
They were good candy bars. Probably not worth what we paid for them though.
I didn't eat them. I paid $20, I think, for like 6.
Oh my God.
Didn't even eat them. We were just in a rush. It caught us at a good time.
I was at the mall the other day, and I got fast talked into testing a product, and luckily I didn't end up paying.
You're at the mall.
Oh God, no! Save it. You literally have a segment for this.
What mall? Oh man, yeah. I'll save that for the segment. We're gonna go. Spoiler alert! Joke of the day. Not from the Today Show today. We're going off base.
Off the dome. The dome on top of Jesse Hall, which Kenny picked as his first one. He's got that Memorial
my
Union.
Was bad.
RJI, aka Walter Williams, and the power plant that were not. Did you look up what the power plant is called? I don't actually remember.
Kenny, your first 3 are excellent picks. The power plant is
power plant's iconic.
Oh, it is just Mizzou. It is just Mizzou power plant.
Yeah, I was looking at the actual official map.
The name of the power plant. Kenny had the power plant, and RJI Walter Williams. Payton took the Student Center, Mizzou Arena, Hit Street Market, which is not a building anymore, or not a standalone building anymore, and Switzler Hall. I'll let you live with that one, Payton. I took the Rec, Ellis Library, Lee Hills Hall, and Cornell Hall. I'm fine with mine.
Yeah, I was happy. Like I said, I really wanted the first pick. I wouldn't have taken Jesse either way, although that was going. I was hoping to get that somehow, but I was always going to take the Student Center 1-1.
It's not the Student Center is not bad. I think we got all the staples in there. I think then it's just sometimes it goes down to your experience.
I hope we got all the staples in there.
Hope we didn't miss a staple. It's been a while for us guys. We're old. Maybe we'll do a Columbia Buildings.
If this video gets 50 likes, Kenny will go to the 5th floor of Ellis with an air horn on homecoming.
Yep. I like it. Maybe we'll do a Columbia Buildings or Columbia Landmarks.
Actually, I'll trap myself in one of the cages and just lay on the air horn until someone comes and lets me out.
That's a good way to get trespassed, I feel like.
You two need to do like a Mr. Beast, like whoever stays in the cage longer, like wins something.
Grandma gets out of the cage when Kenny lays on the air horn at Ellis Hall.
When Drinkwitz wins a top 25 game. Good draft.
Kenny will not release the air horn until Drinkwitz defeats top 10 Vanderbilt.
Throw Mount Rushmore of your own, your favorite buildings from when you were in school, and tell us where we were wrong and why our picks were terrible. Because I'll happily
tell these two that Hit Street was a good pick. Everybody needs food at late hours of the day.
Again, I sort of violated like my own rule where I was like, is this a zombie apocalypse and you can only jump from these 4 buildings? Which 4 are you picking? And then I was like, I'm gonna pick one just for vibes, for
you
memories.
Picked a place where you could have a job, yeah. But
yep.
No food.
No food. All right, there you go. There's your Mount Rushmore for this Friday's show. And we have some more Mizzou stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about the commits, some more baseball transfer portal entries, and more on the other side in the old quick hits. All right, quick hits time. We'll finish up the show. We've got Jersey of the Week. Kenny, what is your Jersey of the Week?
My Jersey of the Week goes to Jack Marquardt. Committed to the Tigers this past week on Tuesday after his official visit this past weekend. 3-star offensive tackle from Lakewood or St. Edward and Lakewood. Chose the Tigers over Duke, Wake Forest, and Indiana. He canceled the Duke and Wake Forest official visits right after he went to Mizzou. Kind of kept that Indiana around for a couple hours, a couple days, and then committed to Missouri. This one was coming out of the weekend, and Tigers offered him at the end of April. Offensive line coach Brandon Jones went to see him. Got to see him work out, got to see his house, or got to see him at his home and see his family. then they got him to Mizzou first time, and he was just was locked in with the Tigers, and his first offensive tackle commit in the 2027 class from Missouri.
Got a baby face.
He does.
Got a baby face. Brandon Jones is going to turn him into a warrior. I don't know. I mean, that it's good to get like as many of these O linemen on the board like as possible. I mean, I know Mizzou had that really strange situation with the kid that went to K-State, I think it was, like where they felt like they had all the momentum, and then all of a sudden, like his mom just announced that he wasn't going to Mizzou or something like that. So good that they were able to kind of bounce back. I don't know what else is in the pipeline O-line wise, Kenny. What else is maybe coming there?
This weekend, Tristan Dare, former Michigan commit, will be on campus. His other two top competitors are Stanford. He's got family in the Bay Area, and then Washington is a school that's pretty popular with him. So two old Pac-12 schools, one in the ACC, one in the Big Ten now. Missouri's the other one. Missouri circled back on him. Connections there, of course. He didn't really have like the biggest one with Chip Lindsey when Chip Lindsey was at Michigan, but there is, understanding and ties there with that. Garrett Riley's a DFW guy. He went to visit him with Chip Lindsey and Brandon Jones earlier in May. And Kyler Kuhn, of course, is the biggest name still on the board on the offensive line for Missouri. Interior, very athletic, speedy center. He can move really well. His other top schools are Iowa and Nebraska. Some people gave Iowa an edge. It's really, kind of a coin flip right now. He's very diligent in what he does, and he's told himself not to fall in love and commit somewhere right away. He said, it could feel awesome right now here on Saturday. Am I going to feel that same way on Wednesday? He's going to do all of his visits, and then he's going to make a decision. He is at St. Pius in the KC area.
We'll wait to that one. That sounds very dramatic out of context. Don't fall in love. Must wait and make a decision. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to say. It's just
Intel.
So I do have some beef with. I don't remember. It was not from you, Kenny, and I don't remember where it was from, and I wouldn't call anyone out if it does. Especially with offensive and defensive line, freshman high school commits. I do not like the sentence that fills a position of need. That player is not going to play for 2 years, probably, unless they're like a 5-star. I just am like, that's not sure. It's a position of need, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think Jack Marquardt, clearly he's a very good player. He's getting committed by Mizzou. He's committed to Mizzou. He's a 3-star guy. Hopefully he projects as a long-term option. I don't think you'd pencil a guy in his position group, particularly as someone who would immediately fill a need for teams. I have a little bit of a beef with seeing that with the commits.
You could say that about pretty much every position
right.
For the way Missouri has been recruiting recently. It's a lot of the safer options. They got Landon Williams-Callis coming in this weekend, number 3 running back in the nation. There, you can say it with him, considering that there will be high expectations for him to contribute earlier than some of these other guys. But yeah, even like with any defensive lineman and offensive lineman, I mean, Mizzou's had 4 stars that just don't play in the first 2 seasons.
Right
before it.
They have a 4-star lineman that hasn't played in 4 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't
Logan
bank on
Reichert.
that. Yeah, Logan Reichert for those.
And sometimes guys break through earlier, but usually it does not happen often with the big guys in the trenches. Take some time, which is
Tristan Dare. That's interesting. He's going the Andrew Babaloa recruitment route with Michigan, Mizzou, and Stanford all floating around that recruitment.
Yeah, they just love the block M and the tree.
They love block letters. Yeah,
they love block letters. There you go.
Washington is the other one. So
your jersey, Payton.
My jersey of the week is unfortunately going to go to Blaze Ward, Mizzou's second baseman, who comes from T.R. Robertson on Twitter. He's kind of like the Mizzou baseball guy on Twitter. He broke the news on, I think it was Monday or Sunday. I think it was Monday, that Blaze Ward entered the transfer portal. He was certainly the best, most encouraging freshman on the roster this past season. Missouri also lost Caden Peer, who did not have as great a year this year as he did the year before, but another pretty promising younger player. And they lost Tyler Macon, who he really wasn't a factor in conference play, but it is notable for the fact that he did play a lot in non-con, and his name is Tyler Macon, so I understand there's a bit of irony there. But yeah, that's losing Blaze Ward and Caden Peer in particular. That's a crusher for Carrick Jackson and co.
Yeah, tough one. I don't know. It's so tough. And like, I don't know. I even see the two comments down there that are like, kind of blaming Carrick for it. This just feels like the transfer portal just continues to add to the pressure against Mizzou to contend as a baseball program in a league that is very hard for them to do that. Like, it's just very easy for these guys to like. Mizzou feels very much like a place where a guy like Blaze Ward just transfers up from after maybe getting a chance to play right away. Whereas maybe some programs who he could have gone to before, he wouldn't have had that chance because there'd been more talent in front of him. I just don't know what you do there as a coach, aside from try to get more money to invest in your team, but you're competing with other sports there. It's just it's a puzzle. It's a hard puzzle. Not great to see though, regardless. My jersey of the week, I'm going to the NFL. I heard this on another pod that I thought was funny, that like we have this really exciting NBA Finals series starting up, and that has all the headlines, and then the NFL just continues to just steal the limelight whenever it possibly can, even in the start of June, super far from the NFL season. But got a couple blockbuster trades. I'm going to talk about both of them, but I'm going to talk about this one first. My jersey of the week will be Myles Garrett. I guess I could have given it to Jared Verse too, because they are swapping teams. Myles Garrett is headed to the Rams. Jared Verse is headed to Cleveland. Payton, I believe, 2027 first round pick, 2028 first round pick, and then I think second and thirds too in there. There's a whole bunch of
third that could turn into a first if Garrett is traded to the another AFC North team.
Okay. So maybe that's what I read by the other pick. But yeah, a first round pick and Jared Verse for Myles Garrett. I mean, huge swing for the Rams. Something they definitely are not afraid to do, to go out and try and get superstars. So I don't know. I mean, it's pretty wild. I mean, Jared Verse is a really good pass rusher himself. I don't know if you two have any thoughts as a fellow NFC West fan. I'm sure as hell glad the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, because it made me a lot less terrified and angry when I saw this deal happen than if they had not, as a fan of a rival team to the Rams.
Doesn't bother me as much as it should probably bother you, Knowlton. Of course, it'll be annoying if the Bears make the playoffs and have to deal with it, but kick that can down the road. I don't even think the Bears play the Rams in the regular season this year, so I think I'll be okay.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cool. I like the Rams. So, super cool, honestly. Imagine you're a Arizona Cardinals fan, by the way.
I did see the there was a tweet that was like, there's levels to the NFL. Like one team is trading for Myles Garrett and the other is like giving Jacoby Brissett like a big extension.
No, they're having a contract dispute with Jacoby Brissett.
Dispute. There you go.
Yeah. He's holding out.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming. I heard it teased on a podcast before. When did Adam Schefter and the NFL Network guys start doing reports together? Like, was that in the past month? I know that was something that was coming. They're called like the reporters now, or the NFL reporters. They have some like clicky name.
A guild? Can you call that a guild?
I don't think so, but because the guild is used differently now with journalism. But Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Adam Schefter. I mean, it feels like these guys probably didn't like each other at some point. Now they're teaming up.
I don't know. That's a great question. That's a good.
Well,
it's a really
NFL
good take
Network
on the
got
trade.
bought by ESPN, right?
Yes. So maybe that's why.
Okay. So that's why they have like their own team now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're all collabed. Yeah, Payton, I don't know. I would be way more freaked out if I've just been falling back on like I'll just go rewatch the AJ Barner Super Bowl touchdown to like make myself feel better. This is a thing I'll worry about when they play the Rams. And I will say, as someone who watched Jared Verse just torment his team's offensive line, kind of funny that he's now stuck in Cleveland. I saw a lot of funny tweets that were like, What was it? That he's going to pull like a James Harden or he was going to call who was it? Max Crosby to figure out like how to get out of the Ravens deal, or like call the Raiders to figure out what they did to get out of that deal for Max Crosby. There was like a funny thing about that.
I did see that.
He doesn't have to end up in Cleveland. Big trade in the NFL. Continues to steal the headlines.
I like no cap and he's the main bird. No, I like no cap and he's the main bird. No, I like no cap and he's the main bird.
He's the main bird.
Shawnee's Paper of the Week. Not headlines. That segment's on Monday's show. Kenny.
Nice job. All right, I'm glad we got it in there 3 times.
No, I like no cap and he's the main bird. No, I like no cap and he's the main.
5 times.
It shows you like a little audio wave now.
I like no cap.
Okay, all right.
6 times for Kobe Rhymes. Look at that.
6 times, and now
he's the main bird.
All right.
How many times, Payton?
7 times.
6, 7. Why don't you talk about Kobe Rhymes already, dude? Jeez.
My main bird of the week is Kobe Rhymes, the North Kansas City linebacker, 3-star in the 2027 class. Was the first commitment out of the first official visit to weekend for the Tigers this spring on Monday. He was another one that came out of the weekend expecting it, and he got it announced. And there was some talk about if he was still going to take his Nebraska official visit. Talking to the staff at North Kansas City, everything is postponed. They're really leaning into you're committed. Those trips aren't going to happen this spring. He's a very interesting cat, I would say. I don't like throwing interesting around. I will say my bird connection is that the only other official visit he took before Missouri was Kansas in May. So there's your bird connection with the Jayhawk, the mythical Jayhawk. He's a very high-end for a 3-star. Even like some scouts are kind of considering him as a 4-star. He didn't go to many camps. When I say interesting cat, he just doesn't talk much either. But he's got an interesting story. He has 14 siblings through his dad, and only is really close with one of them. But he doesn't live with his family anymore. He lives with Jason Palmgren. If Mizzou fans are listening, know that name. He played for the Tigers in the late 2000s on the offensive line. He's also a North Kansas City product. He coaches football and wrestling in North Kansas City, and he took Kobe in his freshman year, and they've been, just living together ever since. And a really cool dynamic that they have is that Kobe is trying to best him in everything they do, or at least tie him. So he won a local Kansas City award. There's the Simone, that's the big time award that's given out to the best football player in Kansas City, and they're going after that this year. He finished second in wrestling at state, just like Jason Palmgren did back when he was in high school. So overall, it's a pretty fun dynamic that the two have. And when he committed, Jason Palmgren is like an offensive lineman. He's just you don't expect him to get too emotional. He said he had emotions he never felt before when Kobe decided to commit to Missouri. A really cool story. Kobe asked him, he was like, "Do you think I should?" And he punched him in the chest. He was like, put his fist to his chest. He said, "What does that say? What does your heart say?" And so he committed to Mizzou. I didn't expect it. I'll be completely honest, just because I didn't really know much about Kobe other than I know he's visited for 2 games in the fall, and he was back in March for spring practice. But it's a good pickup for Derek Nicholson, just freak athlete. He wrestles. He's a high-end wrestler. Football coaches do like that. They do marry well the two sports. He plays volleyball. It's a more untraditional thing, but it is a little bit more popular among male athletes in the Kansas City area. Carson Fien, who's at Lee's Summit, who signed with Missouri in the class of 2026, also played volleyball. So he's got a pretty good athletic resume.
I'm always a fan of the multi-sport, like kids who are encouraged to keep doing that. And you're right about the football and wrestling thing, no doubt. That is an awesome story. And people should go read Kenny's reporting about that, because that is really exciting. So yeah, Kobe Rhymes into the fold. And yeah, Kenny, I will try and rephrase it, but a busy time for Mizzou right now with the official visit season. I'm not saying it's for you, but this is obviously, when you can kind of hype these things up, you see all the graphics, the teams are a little bit more allowed to post some things, and you just have these big groups of athletes visiting. I assume, Mizzou's hoping to get some commitments flowing in as the rest of these June weekends go, and then maybe July as some kids, think about it a little bit longer and maybe commit that month as well.
Yeah, I was talking to someone at Mizzou yesterday, and I was just pointed out, it's like you came into official visits last year with 2 commitments in the class of 2026. Missouri's already up to 13 right now. Or sorry, 12. I'm expecting a 13th. I think Chris Kasky is a guy that Missouri could probably add here sooner than later. He's an edge rusher. I visited his past weekend. Teammates with Mizzou commit Luke Angichok at Nazareth Academy in LaGrange Park, Illinois. Those teammates, they like to push for each other. We'll see another one this weekend with Jabari Lofton, who's committed from East St. Louis. And Raheem Floyd will be on campus, big cornerback target for the Tigers, one of the top ones that they have, and he'll be pulling for him to join him in the Mizzou class. So I think all together, it's a good camaraderie you've seen so far from these commits. Things will change once you get to college. I remember the 2025 class. It looked like, those guys were just set on Mizzou, and, a handful of them transferred pretty quickly this past season. But overall, I think you could see probably a couple more this weekend as well. Guys like Trey Britton, Malik Moore, Lawrence Britt. Mizzou are seen as some leaders for some of those names as well.
Hey, it's going from the 2 to 13 over a year on is a very good note. It's exciting stuff. Kobe Rhymes, the latest addition. Kenny will have all the coverage of the OV season over at Mizzou today. Payton, whom is your main bird?
Yeah, enough of this football commitment talk. Let's talk basketball.
Oops.
Did want to just mention quickly, Jeff Porzello put out a way too early top 25. I don't know how way too early it is anymore. I mean, rosters are more or less set at this point. There's very few big-time commitments you're going to land this late in the cycle. Bird Connection, Louisville is in here. I forget where they are in here, but they are in here. The one we're going to mention, Missouri, is in here at 20. It's kind of interesting because there's Louisville at 13. It's kind of interesting because they say, or I'm sorry, they're 21. I thought they were 20.
Miami's 20. Ugh.
So they say this ranking could be far too low because there's very few teams with as much talent on paper in the country as Mizzou. They kind of throw some shade at Dennis Gates. They're like, but Dennis Gates is going to have to figure it out. Their projected starting lineup is, of course, Crow at the 1, Jameer Jones playing the 2, Trent Pierce at the 3, Tony Bryant at the 4, and Bryson Tiller at the 5. I don't really expect Bryant to be a starter this year, to be honest. Who knows? Dennis Gates might get a little fun early on, but I would expect Bryson Tiller at the 4 and Carey at the 5 if I had to guess my starting 5. I do agree with his 1 through 3 at the moment, though.
I interpreted it a little bit differently, Payton, just with what their little note said. I don't think it was all on Dennis Gates. I think any coach that had this roster just has a little bit of a challenge. I mean, I feel like we've challenged ourselves as it came together to try and see, what starting 5s we liked, what rotations could maybe exist. I think it's just like it's a matter of how fast he can get the continuity on the court. I think I have confidence he does it in terms of chemistry with the team, but like I think it's just given the players you added, given the skill sets, I think and the fact that you are leaning so heavily on a couple of 5 and high end 4-star freshmen who you just have to see where they're at and how quickly or how long it kind of takes them to get to the spot you're hoping that they'll be at and get to become as dependable as you are kind of needing them to be. I think that's just going to take time into the season. I think that'd be the case for anybody. But obviously Dennis Gates still does have to prove it to some extent. I'm not excusing him either. Like but I don't know if it's as set in stone as like, this is an elite roster. The coach needs to prove it. I think there's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's funnier to pretend that's what they were saying.
For sure.
Just throwing some others in there. Kansas is at number 23. They were unranked in the last one they did. They, of course, landed Tyron Stokes. That's going to be the big thing for them. I did not realize Iowa State lost so many people.
A lot of older
they're only down at 24.
Is Kentucky in there?
Let me look. I would have to imagine since they got Milan, they're going to be.
Yeah, so you mentioned that there's not many. Yeah, there you go. Unranked.
No, they're not in there.
Yeah, they are.
Wait, are they? Okay, yeah. Sorry, my my finder was being weird. They're at 17.
Yeah, so that was the big one. I mean, Payton mentioned there's not really many big players left on the board. Kentucky maybe got the last one, Milan Momcilovic from Iowa State, the best shooter in the country. So that elevated them all
St.
the way up.
Louis is also on the next 5 out. Just throwing that out as well. Let me see, where's Illinois?
That's the big debate right now, is who should be number 1 between Illinois and Florida. From what
They're
I've
at number
reading.
4 in this.
A lot of people have either them or Florida all the way up at 1-2.
They have Florida, Duke, Michigan is the top 3, and then Illinois is number 4.
I'm not going to hard argue with that right now.
So there you go. Quentin Coleman, of course, committed there.
He did indeed. All right. I'm so excited for college basketball. My main bird, I'm going back to the NFL. It's the other big trade that happened. My main bird's going to be A.J. Brown, of course, now a former Philadelphia Eagle, and he's now a New England Patriot. The Patriots traded a 2028 first-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick that to get A.J. Brown. Obviously, this has been kind of long in the works here, but a weapon for Drake May, and potentially a kind of a new start for A.J. Brown after things kind of derailed a little bit in Philly. So another pretty seismic NFL deal along with the Garrett one. This one was a little more expected though.
I wonder why. I'm not going to make that joke. That's low hanging fruit. But probably, I mean, this had been building for like ages. I think I saw Jordan Mailata, like one of the Eagles old linemen, was like, "Thank God it's over." Like at this point, I don't think necessarily like just about A.J. Brown getting traded, like just the fact that there's not going to be any more like drama between
the saga's finally ended.
Yeah, so very, very turbulent. I mean, you can't argue that it wasn't a successful tenure in Philly, but it was turbulent by the end.
Definitely. Kenny, as a retired Patriots fan, are you excited for this?
Good for the old team, powering through a lot of the issues of the offseason, and you bring in a nasty wideout. It's probably the biggest highlight of it.
Yes, very true. Jacob Peeler. Payton, what'd you learn?
Best thing I learned this week, what the North End Zone looks like. Look at it now. I mean, Mizzou football tweeted it the morning we're actually recording this. Got the Block M still in the middle there. But, man, it's starting to come together. I think it pretty obviously is going to look very cool. It's kind of insane to even try and remember what the North End Zone looked like before. But, yeah, North End Zone's really coming together. Not quite finished, but you can see what it's going to look like. And it's pretty solid. I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's all great and fine and dandy, Payton. But more importantly, specifically, as of May 25th, 2026, they got bathroom countertop installation underway inside the Rock M Club. Crews are installing the Tiger Den glass and placing limestone panels throughout the space. Exterior process continues with brick washing at Stair 4 in Area C. Paving work has begun in North Area B. Final punch list. I put Payton on my punch list one time. And incomplete work items are now being addressed throughout Area A. Turf installation is underway inside the Rock M. That one's actually kind of fun. And team store casework is being delivered and installed through the coming week. Huge news.
Huge news.
Punch list.
So are there going to be like 20 people that get to sit on the hill?
Yeah, so I
looks like it can hold quite a bit more than 20, but
I know, but like in general, I mean, those ticket prices might go up because you can't even like. The number is going to be so limited.
I'm sure they will.
That'll look awesome still, though. I'm so glad that that's still an option for people. And so they're turfing it. So that is going to be bring a blanket, people, and not for your warmth,
hot,
but for to deter the warmth on your
the hill. I'll say this about the hill. I've been there a number of times now, like for homecoming and stuff. The hill is always fun until about the third quarter. And then you're like, I really want to sit down like the entire time now. Like this is so My feet are killing me.
It's fun for your wallet.
It is fun for your wallet, no doubt about that. But I mean, it'll be interesting now to see kind of what it's priced at. Last year, homecoming, I actually sat in the stands, and it wasn't. I don't think it was that expensive, but I don't remember.
I agree. I'm in agreement.
Kenny gets his ticket paid for.
It's not paid for.
He gets to go for free.
Kenny, what'd you learn?
Best thing I learned this week is that there's the first Mizzou transfer commitment for the baseball team this spring. Wilfred Gonzalez. He played for Florida Gulf Coast last year. Shortstop, played in all 58 games for the Eagles. Batting .323 with 74 hits, 11 doubles, 2 homers, and 30 RBIs.
There we go. Gonna need some firepower here.
Yeah, hopefully he can keep that up, translate it a little bit, but I don't know if it offsets necessarily the losses that have happened so far. My best thing I learned this week, Ben Askren to make miraculous return to wrestling at Real American Freestyle RAF 11 in Milwaukee. This is pretty cool when I read this. Obviously, we had talked about it several times on the show. Of course, there's been plenty of reporting on it. Ben Askren went through a lot. I mean, had a pretty terrible medical diagnosis, had to retire. Of course, as a fighter, was already kind of on the brink of that, I think, when this happened, at the end of kind of his fighting days. But he's going to come back and wrestle. I believe in this article it listed it was only a one-time deal, but needed a double lung transplant and is now able to come back and wrestle. He's going to headline this event. He's going to wrestle Bilal Muhammad, a former UFC welterweight. So 2 guys that are, I think, kind of older. So, I mean, very exciting. He's obviously done a ton with his career, even outside of the ring himself. He coached Keegan O'Toole at his academy that he has over there in Wisconsin. But just really great news. I mean, it is kind of miraculous what he's gone through and been able to come out the other side of. And so good that he'll be able to compete a little bit. There's some great quotes in here. I won't read the entirety of this kind of longer one, but he said, I'm competing at a high level still. My wrestling knowledge and my wrestling acumen is incredibly high. But like I said, it was probably only 5 or 6 months ago where I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without getting winded. And he said he's trained pretty much every single day trying to build himself back in the wrestling room. So just a great story, of course, of Mizzou alum, one of the most successful recent collegiate wrestlers that there's been. And so just good news to see that he's able to do that in his home state too. Of course, I won't remiss shout that out, but good news for Ben Askren. Gonna compete in a match, and the date of that I had it. It's in June. It's coming up here. July 18th. July 18th is when that'll be. So we'll keep an eye out for that, fellas. Let's finish off with best beats of the week presented by FanDuel. We didn't talk game 1 of the finals. We're going to right now. Payton, how about you go first?
Yeah, I was vetoed. I wanted to take the Dodgers to win 90 games. I was like minus 4,000 or something. Instead, I'm going to take Julian Champagnie to make 2 + 3-pointers. He's minus 340 to do that. Julian Champagnie has been like a revelation this postseason. Legitimately has done it all. I think this is a pretty safe one. Who knows, though? That's why they put odds out on this, because it might not happen, guys.
I should have clarified. We're going to make picks for game 2 of the NBA Finals, which is, of course, on Friday. Do you have any game 1 impressions, Payton? Any takeaways?
Jalen Brunson's pretty cool. I've thought that for a while now, though. I don't know. The Mitchell Robinson thing was kind of interesting. Because, I mean, like, the whole pregame thing where a reporter asked if he's playing, and Mitchell Robinson replied, "I don't want to talk to your ass."
Did someone do that?
Yes, someone. It was a reporter, like the athletic guy for the Knicks, I believe, asked him if he's playing, and he was like, "I don't want to talk to your ass." It was just kind of funny.
He tried to go viral like the Oh, I forget who it was on the Jazz. You guys know that clip where they're doing it on the court, the stand up, and they're like, "Do we know whoever's playing?" And he looks back because he's like, "Hold on, I'll just ask him. Are you playing?" Nah, he's not playing.
Yeah, I have seen that one.
Mr. Robinson did that.
But yeah, I don't really have any hard game one impressions. I think it'll be a good series. I'm glad to see the Knicks were able to take the first one, though. I'm kind of rooting for them, I think. I really like Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I like Jalen Brunson, too. Kenny, same question, and what is your game 2 pick?
I didn't watch a single second of this game.
You
I will point out, because there are people that know less about the NBA that listen to the show than I do. Champagnie is with the Spurs. Did not know that. Because you didn't mention it. I mean, people didn't know. I mean, people aren't going to know that, you know. NBA Finals game 2, I'm going to take the under 214.5 at -110. It's -110 on over and under.
So 108 to 107 hits the over. I don't think that's happening, Kenny. Oh my god.
Well, they were under 214.5 last game too.
I know. I don't think it's happening in game 2.
You think the over is going to hit? Is what you're saying?
I think the over is going to hit.
I think it'll be high scoring. I will say the Spurs. I wouldn't remiss them to go 0 for 10 and a quarter from 3 again, but because that killed them. I mean, they were up 14 in that third and then missed all those threes and came back. But I like it, Kenny. Payton, Jalen Brunson was awesome. I agree with you. I thought Cat played some damn good defense on Wemby. I thought Wemby kind of tried to do the Giannis thing where, you know, he just tried to bulldoze his way downhill and get to the rim. And I thought Cat kind of stifled him a couple of times. He had a really frustrating game. That said, I think the Spurs are going to come back and tie the series. I've got them -5.5 in game number 2. I don't think they'll blow both in San Antonio. We'll see with Brunson. I mean, he got knocked around a little bit in game 1, came back and was clearly fine. I mean, he had, but who knows? Maybe that was a little adrenaline-y. Maybe he's a little banged up for game 2. Takes it a little easier, and that helps the Spurs. I think Fox or Castle, Vassell, those guys are going to have to kind of elevate to help Wemby a little bit. That's my other take. And Dylan Harper's awesome. I love Dylan Harper. Peyton and I were texting about Dylan Harper during the playoffs and the criminality that was his St. John's tenure, where no one got to watch him actually play.
Well, he didn't go to St. John's, but
sorry, Rutgers, not St. John's. who I was thinking of was Champagnie. I think Champagnie.
Yeah, Champagnie went to. I think he was under Mike Anderson at Rutgers too. Not even Pitino. So
no, Champagnie.
Yeah,
you mean St. John's, not Rutgers.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was under Mike Anderson
at St. John's.
Did I say Rutgers?
Yes.
Did we just swap schools?
We
there?
did.
Wow, look at us.
Yep.
Yeah, at St. John's.
What's your joke? I know you're dying to tell it.
Oh, dude, I have a visual aid. How do I do this? Share screen, window, tab. We'll do window. You're all going to get a behind-the-scenes look of our StreamYard setup for a second. Boom. Okay, here we go, guys. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to click that. Oh, gosh. All right. Guys, this is like one of my favorites. Where does Darth Vader go to get his shoes?
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Hey, he goes to the Darth Maul. He goes to the Darth Maul. Darth Vader gets his shoes from the Darth Maul.
Kenny, he's pretty good at this with the scrolling. I got to give it to him for how crappy his computer is.
Did you guys enjoy that? Good joke?
It's a good joke, Peyton. Nice job. Please get a Mac. No free ads. Thank you to FanDuel. Thank you for all your gracious listeners and viewers. Subscribe on the YouTube. Follow Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Do all the things. We will have to... I can't even hype this up.
It's
maybe Kenny, I don't know. You did listen to the last show. I know you had a real excuse last time. I also don't blame you for these first 3 seasons. You have just made things up to not participate in the ranking. All of the Mizzou seasons.
I'm writing commitment stories
under Drinkwitz. We're gonna do the 2022 season on Sunday or Monday. Excuse me. It'll be a rootin' tootin' time. I'm so excited to rewatch the highlights of all those.
We're gonna get to rank, dude. We're gonna get to rank games like Abilene Christian, Auburn, the Gasparilla Bowl, dude. That's gonna be a good episode.
Would you rather get stuck in the back rooms for an hour or go back to the 2022 Mizzou football season for the entire year?
Hey, Payton, did you know that Jack saw Backrooms yesterday?
I brought it up. I did not even bring it up on the show. It was off air.
I don't know.
Sorry, I like pop
22
culture.
Season
All
was,
right.
I mean, the Georgia game was actually. People are not gonna like where I have the Georgia game ranked. I'm gonna have it ranked highly because at least that game was memorable and a lot of fun for 3 quarters.
Fine. Would you rather be tormented by the? I haven't seen Obsession. I can't do that or reference to that one.
I like that scene in the restaurant of Obsession that's on Twitter all the time.
I do see that a lot.
It's a funny tweet scene.
I do see that one a lot. No.
I thought we were having a nice date. That's a good scene.
That makes me so uncomfortable. Like just the.
Yeah, you get secondhand social anxiety from that.
Right. All right. Anyway, 2022 season coming up Monday. We'll see you guys then.